Happy New Year. May everyone have a great 2019, and I can't think of a better way to start the new year than by watching a tape show from the previous year, and that's exactly what we got tonight as WWE taped SmackDown 3 days ago from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this show was a bit awkward because they already had to pretend like it was 2019, even though it wasn't, as the show took place on the 29th of December. And I think that was a little awkward for the fans too, because they're thinking to themselves, it's still 2018. The ball hasn't dropped yet. So the show starts with the announcers all welcoming us to the new year. You had Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and the hometown boy, Corey Graves, who I'm sure is thrilled about his football team with all that drama. Must be driving everyone crazy. I thought wrestling was supposed to be a soap opera. The Pittsburgh Steelers were a better soap opera than anything. Man. So the new day comes out. You have Big E basically dressed up as Baby New Year, and Kofi and Xavier are dressed up in tuxedos. They welcome us to the new year, and then they announce that they're all going to be participating in the Royal Rumble, which is no surprise. And then the best part of, maybe I have to say, this might be the funniest part of 2019, and we're only on the first day, as Big E basically mocks Scott Steiner's infamous promo from TNA all those years ago about how he has a 33% chance of winning, and Big E is saying because the three of them are there, they have 33 divided by 3. It's just hilarious. If you've never seen that Scott Steiner promo, you have to watch it. It's absolutely hilarious. And the crowd actually got it, which surprised me. I don't know how many fans of that go to Raw and SmackDown are actually marks, but the fans actually knew what Big E was talking about. I got a good reaction. They're cutting a decent promo, and then as they continue to go on, they announce. Well, I guess it was already announced. It already got out, but they announced that there's going to be a fatal 5-way match to see who faces Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble, and you're going to have these qualifying matches. One of the first ones is going to be Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe. So that's how the show starts off. You have the winner getting into the fatal 5-way. Samoa Joe wins. Decent match. First official match of the year. Just kind of a ordinary match you've seen a million times. Then they do a video package. They show what happened with AJ Styles and Vince McMahon on the Christmas edition of SmackDown. That's just bad luck for WWE. You have a Christmas show, then you have a New Year's show. It's even worse for Raw because they had Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I think those are worse days because Christmas at night and New Year's Day at night, not as bad, but Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve at night, that's hell. So I think SmackDown actually landed on the better dates because I think Raw's going to be hit harder. And SmackDown actually beat Raw in the ratings last week. They might probably beat them again. And Raw, they're going to get fucked again because they have to go head-to-head with the College Football Championship. I think next week is finally a free week for WWE. And I think this week was still a little bit phoned in. I think next week on SmackDown and on Raw, they're going to go heavy into the Royal Rumble build. But, the whole stuff with AJ and Vince, you think they'd make a bigger deal of it because Vince doesn't usually do stuff. He did something with Kevin Owens in 2017, but, he doesn't really, do anything physical very rarely now. There's a knock on the door. They have AJ Styles backstage with Vince and Shane who are in office. AJ says he won't apologize. He says this is the real AJ. And then Shane is he's obviously angry and he leaves the office. Shane warns Vince about the real AJ because they had that match at WrestleMania. That was actually great. I hope we don't have to see AJ and Shane again. Please, no more. They show Kayla Braxton. She introduces Rusev, who's joined by Lana. He talks about his victory. He talks about how it's Rusev Day. It's this is 9 months too late. Should have done this last year at WrestleMania. It's too late now. They have a Nakamura attack Rusev, and then he beats him down. Lana tries to stop him, and then as Lana, she kind of grabs Nakamura to stop, and then Rusev hits a Machka kick, and then as Lana is on Nakamura, Nakamura gets hit with the kick, and then he falls back on Lana. They kind of do something with Lana getting hurt, even though they can't do any male to female violence. They can do female to male violence with all that mixed match challenge, but can't do anything. Has to be inadvertent. They show Rusev checking on Lana in the ring, and then Nakamura hits him with the Kinshasa. And it was all right. It was, I guess they want to build this thing. I guess they're going to continue this rivalry. They show what happened with Jimmy Uso, with Mandy Rose, and you have Mandy Rose against Naomi next. This match was just... I hate this rivalry. So it was supposed to be Naomi and Mandy. Instead, it's Sonya and Naomi. And Mandy Rose is basically into Jimmy Uso, and she shows this photo that she sexted Jimmy Uso. She sent him a private photo, which I'm sure is going to be going over great with, Paige, who used to be the GM. Maybe didn't think of that. I'm sure Toni Storm is thrilled about that. Poor Toni. And they show Mandy Rose covered in a towel. It's like she just got out of the shower, and she sent it to Jimmy Uso. Okay, go to Mandy Rose's Instagram page. She's wearing a lot less than a fucking towel. So it's Sonya and Mandy. Sonya wins. Mandy Rose is tracked. I guess they're going to push Mandy Rose heavily in 2019. Don't surprise me if she gets a Carmella push like she got last year. That could happen. So Mandy Rose might even be SmackDown Women's Champion by the time the year ends. It wouldn't shock me. I think she will be. They're going to push her heavily. She's Vince's girl. She's going to be the top girl. She's everything Vince was he wants in the woman. So you're going to see a heavily pushed superstar in Mandy Rose this year. We'll see if shit works. My gut is the fans probably resent her. It's like kind of it'll turn into... I don't think it'll be as bad as Carmella because she's a bit more talented, but it's going to be dreadful when she's champ. Randy Orton cuts a promo on Rey Mysterio. Kind of just, I've seen this a million times. They have a decent promo with Mustafa Ali. He talks about how he was the heart of SmackDown. He beat the champion. And then they go through all these New Year's resolutions, whole bunch of them. They did this on Raw last night too. They do a whole bunch. They say the kind of like they use a lot of the mid-carders, like not necessarily jobbers, but a lot of mid-carders. They have the iconic say they're going to be the first ever women's tag team champions. God help us if that happens. Please no. They have Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows say they're going to destroy everyone and call everyone nerds, stuff like that. Shelton does one, just kind of, run-of-the-mill stuff. They do so much of this stupid stuff. Whenever it's a holiday, they have to do something themed with the holiday. There's always something for Halloween. There's always something for Thanksgiving. Always something for Christmas, and always something for New Year's. There'll be something for Valentine's Day next month, too. It's what they do. Joe promo, kind of boring. I've seen so many of them. So now this is the thing that I think everyone wanted to tune into SmackDown to see. This is the biggest attraction, which is John Cena making his return, of course, being confronted by Becky Lynch, which already got out. He comes out. Crowd loves John Cena. He does a decent promo. It's kind of, his hokey, typical stuff. Some comedy. Makes fun of his hair, which looks absolutely horrendous. I mean, that looks like shit, but he's just going to make fun of himself. It's for his film, but I hate his fucking haircut. It's just, man, I want to, just shave his head. I'm so sick of seeing it. It looks like shit. See, I mean, it's not like it looks horrible. It's just like, as a wrestler, it makes him look like so old. He is talking about, his personal life. He doesn't mention Nikki's name, but he kind of alludes to it. And then all of a sudden, Becky Lynch comes out, and the crowd goes nuts. She welcomes him before getting into the ring, and then she asks him if you were expecting a man to come out, but you got the man. They're going heavily with that man gimmick. I don't know. I love Becky, but I'm not a huge fan of the man gimmick. I'll just admit it. I just think it can be interpreted the wrong way. It's like, man, what, her? It's like she's so attractive. I don't like. I know what it is. I'm not a big fan of the man gimmick. That's me. She rips into him. She talks about how she took off Charlotte on the posters, how she's going to pass John Cena, and then she's talking about how if he has a problem with that, Nikki won't be the only woman who drops him this year, which got a huge pop from the crowd. I hope we don't have to see a Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella feud, but I'm sure Nikki Bella would love that. Then finally we have Andrade Cien Almas' music play, and he comes out with Zelina Vega, and Zelina's talking, and Zelina's clearly the star. I don't know if Almas is going to last in the WWE the entire year, not because they'd fire him, because I think he's just going to leave. Zelina's really good on the mic, but just like when I see her in the ring, it's, compared to Becky, she looks like a midget compared to Becky Lynch. I mean, Becky Lynch looks like Braun Strowman compared to Zelina Vega. I don't know how small she really is, but man, I didn't realize she was that tiny. It's a fine promo by Vega, and she challenges them, rips them, and then John Cena announces that him and Becky are gonna challenge them to a match for a mixed tag, and that's exactly what we get. We get John Cena and Becky Lynch against Zelina Vega and Andrade Cien Almas. I think this is what John Cena is going to do. He's going to do stuff like this. He's not going to be involved in each from big long-term angles anymore, because I think he just doesn't have the time, but he'll make special appearances. I think this is what we're going to get from Cena. He's going to be on Raw next week too, so this is what we expect. It comes down to Becky and Zelina in the ring. Haven't really seen them interact. I wouldn't mind seeing a feud with them. I really like Zelina. I'm a big fan of hers, and Becky's great. But Becky taps her out with the disarmer, and then John Cena offers to shake Becky's hand, but Becky walks away. It was a really good segment. Definitely the best part of the show. They have the Shane and Miz stuff. Like, this stuff is channel churner for me. I may just turn on the Rose Bowl or then the Sugar Bowl instead of watching this. I do not want to see this Miz and Shane McMahon feud. This feud absolutely sucks. I'm just going to skip it. They do the whole new to main roster feature for the millionth time. They have Asuka in the back talking to Triple H. And here we go. It's like the McMahons are all over the TV again. Same old shit. She is cut to, kind of her same old typical no one ready for Asuka promo. And then Charlotte appears standing behind her, and she, basically says she wants a title match. They have Carmella there, and she's also saying she wants a match, but then Becky comes out. She's there too, and they're all complaining to Hunter. It's like the same thing you've seen a million times. They do this stuff a lot when they start off shows. They'll have all people come out to the ring, but they do this all backstage. And then Triple H, Daddy Hunter, is saying he's gonna make a decision next week or something. So I think it's gonna be Ronda and Charlotte at the Rumble. I think Asuka will probably face Becky, and that's what they announced. So I don't know. They might have changed their card, but I'm thinking it's probably Ronda Becky at WrestleMania still. That's what I still think we're going to get. So the main event, it's Samoa Joe, Mustafa Ali, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio on the Fatal 5-Way number 1 contenders match. The only person who had to qualify was Samoa Joe. I guess everyone else got a free pass, but good match. They've done a whole bunch of Fatal 5-Ways. They've incorporated that. They would only do triple threats and Fatal 4-Ways, but now they do a lot of Fatal 5-Ways. It was a fine match. Crowd was into it. A good match, I guess, on the taped show. It's an easy match to book. Pretty simple. The end happens with Rey Mysterio. He was pinned. Joe gets a 450 splash, and AJ Styles wins. He hits a 450, and he wins the match. So it's AJ and Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. I'm thinking AJ is probably going to win because he's lost to Daniel Bryan 2 times in a row now, and I think Vince sees AJ as a bigger star than Daniel Bryan, so I think AJ wins. I think it might be AJ and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. That's a possibility, but AJ with the win. Him and Daniel Bryan probably have another great match at the Royal Rumble. So that was the first show of the year. Decent show from Pittsburgh, a tape show. You don't expect too much, but I thought it was pretty fine. It was an easy show to watch. They have some competition today, but as a show, very easy. Definitely the better show than Raw was. So overall, I enjoyed SmackDown. And hopefully we get a lot of good SmackDowns this year. And I think if SmackDown is the show like this, I think we're going to get a lot of decent SmackDowns this year because this was a pretty decent show.